Lucifer video. That was an ironic video. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. I think a lot of you took that seriously, and I do think my tone may have been serious in that, and I apologize. I do not change my voice when I am joking or being serious, so, yeah. However, there's something I never really got around to. I might have briefly mentioned it there, but I wanted to talk about, like, how shafted Lucifer's character got in Season 2 overall. Everyone except Vox got so much worse, and today we're gonna touch on how I think Lucifer sort of got some of that Flanderization, maybe some of the worst of it. In the first episode of the second season, I thought he was still written well, and he was in character still. Settling more into the hotel and helping out with Charlie getting overwhelmed and with the crowd of sinners. And they have this like heart-to-heart with each other about missing Lilith, and it's probably their best emotional moment in the show. It isn't immediately undercut by cussing or sex jokes or anything immediately to take you out of it. Lucifer supports her and says the show must go on, which I love when they have him say little ringleader type things. Oh, how I wish that theme was stronger. Next time we see him, he's with Angel and Cherry, getting ready to rage bait Alistair. The infamous coaster scene, which felt like a horrid mischaracterization of both Alistair and sort of Lucifer, but you know, it's fine enough, it's not terrible, it still is kind of something I could believe him doing. Following scene after that one has Lucifer all cozied up in his sweater, making himself at home with his rubber duckies. Vaggie goes in asking him for help with settling down Vox, getting him to stop the regime and all. This is where we learn that Lucifer cannot smite sinners and is stuck down here in a sort of passive state. Now, this is a lore drop that I personally don't mind. In season 1, like, we saw how powerful he was against Adam, and he sort of needed something to nerf him naturally. And this, to me, makes sense. Lucifer gave man free will, so now he's gotta face the consequences of watching the worst types of people he's created. Vaggie tries to encourage Lou to go out there and scare the sinners, and he isn't convinced until he hears that Alistair will not be able to do it. When this is brought up, he wants to prove himself, essentially. And this is when the Flanderization really does start to get bad. Now, look, the ducks, I thought it was just a bit much, but, you know, I was willing to set that aside. And I did think they could tone it back, but, like, you know, it was fine. Whatever, he shows up to Vox's speech and sings to scare the crowd. And at first, I was on board with this. Lucifer flying around and using a giant flaming serpent to display his menacing aura, reminding them that the living world is still afraid to say his name. That's just how infamous his reputation is. Then it immediately falls off, with the next lines being him calling himself the shit or so spooky. It's really painful to watch him get cast as such a mindless buffoon, let's say. This was so out of character feeling. You could tell that they just needed him to do this for the plot. Lucifer is a bit eccentric, but the man is not a child. He would know that this is a terrible idea. I'll comment on it here, but I wish Lucifer's characterization was done differently. I don't mind the idea of him being goofy, but I do think it could be portrayed better. Lucifer could be more reserved on the outside, something which the pilot felt like it was setting up. Maybe when he's out in the town in hell, he's keeping up a persona of being fearsome and not to be messed with. He can't harm sinners, but he rarely appears outside and shapeshifts into something terrifying that could keep up his reputation. He's an ex-angel, and as we know, biblical angels appear as horrifying beings to scare away demons. And with that experience, he would realistically try to do something like that down here. Since he's supposed to be the most beautiful angel and God's favorite, sure, he's supposed to be the most beautiful one and God's favorite, but he is an angel. Like how Vaggie is trained to kill sinners and be aggressive, she carries a hint of that here, and so Lucifer still could too. Like Sarah's angelic form, when she comes down, she uses that pretty quickly when she sees the sinners and she wants to like scare them. So logically to me, it feels like Lucifer should also do something like that. Unless that's part of his powers being taken away. His angelic form is only going to be accessible to him if he has the full extent of his powers with him. Not 100% sure, they haven't really made that clear yet. Of course though, when he's in private around family, he trusts them enough to let his true self slip out. When he first appears, he could have tried maintaining the intimidating aura a bit, maybe. He knows there's sinners in the hotel, but being around his daughter just makes him want to act silly and be goofy. He hasn't seen her since she was a child, so probably would still be trying to emulate that fun dad energy. And before we get back to Vox Populi, I do want to just quickly mention here that only 4% of people are subscribed. I hate to be one of those people that, is begging for subscribers, but just want to mention that, 96% of you, if you want to just click the button, that would be great. Thank you very much. It would help out the channel a lot. Anyway, Vox Populi. The only thing I like about when Vox insults him, like after Lucifer's song and all that, I do like when Lucifer retorts with, "You filthy little mortal." A line that very much would be corny and cringe if anyone else said it, but I think Lucifer, he's an immortal being, so I think it works. He's angry at him for insulting his marriage, and Lucifer, he's him. He's got the power to back it up. He's got the guts, he's got the chutzpah. After the whole Vox ordeal, Charlie storms back to the hotel angry and ready to yell at her father, of which I still think she should have been more mad at Vaggie, or just taking responsibility for the fact that she wasn't doing a lot at the hotel. Lucifer still is trying to console her and see if he can do anything better, but since she doesn't want to talk to him, he's okay with that, and he just wants to give her space so that she can come back from her anger, I guess. He respects her boundaries. And goddammit, she's so ungrateful for having such a wonderful father and just shoving that aside. Anyway, he retreats to his room to watch his sad duck musicals and cry over them and being alone. And that's when he gets a call from false Charlie, luring him away to become Vox's power source. Now, him being eager to go make amends with Charlie makes sense. It's in line with the character that we've established. But what isn't clicking for me, though, is how he just remains clueless while walking through the dark, empty room. Sure, he's a bit oblivious, but he's not dumb, and they should have had at least a bit of a setup to make this look like Charlie was there. Not a rose petal romance thing, but just, just something that makes it look like Charlie set up for seats, or she has her own things there, Vox stole some of her things from the hotel, using Angel as a way to bring things back and forth that could bring even more validity to the Angel as a spy thing. Even just small decorations to make it more believable that Lucifer would just think his daughter was being a bit awkward or weird about this. But then, once he does get captured and he's in the machine, he just goes full dumb boy mode, and it's a bit insulting. There's that bit where he keeps saying Vox over and over again, and can we just stop? I hate it. I get that he's drained and woozy in this state, but still, it could make it just less annoying. It feels like a kid's fanfic interpretation of Lucifer. In the end, his pain is brushed aside because Vivsy, quote, doesn't have time to kiss everyone's boo-boos, and it's stupid. Can we acknowledge that? Every character feels so completely different from their season 1 counterpart, and Lucifer is not spared this treatment. He's completely woobified to a degree that makes me want to weep. I'm not crazy here, right? Lucifer wasn't this childish in season 1, and had his wits about him. It just felt like they not only had to nerf his power, because of how much he could have done, but on top of that, they had to drag down his IQ. They ended his character off on such a high note with season 1, though he was late to the final battle. He was a bit silly, but in the fight he still was able to hold up his end. He was still able to beat Adam while having his silly demeanor, his charisma, we'll say. And now they just have him he doesn't fall for any stupid traps in that, but they just have him be completely oblivious to everything now. Lucifer could still fight. Like I said, nearly kill Adam. He didn't go all the way through with it though, just because Charlie told him not to, and you know, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about Nifty getting to take that spotlight. I just think overall he could have been portrayed a lot better and more kingly, maybe. Season 1, I feel like even in his intro, like when he's talking to Razzle Dazzle, he's like, oh, you better be taking care of them. And then he immediately just starts like giggling and trying to get back to being like his fun self for Charlie, even though like he is trying to not threaten, but like he's keeping up that scary attitude so that anyone who isn't his family knows that he's still the king of hell. I just feel like in this season we lost so much of the kingliness, and he just went fully more so into like an awkward, scared dad. I guess, are they trying to emulate Marceline's dad with this? Like being a pathetic guy, but even then Marceline's dad in Adventure Time isn't portrayed as completely incompetent or stupid, like he's just kind of a bad dad, and that's not what Lucifer is. He's supposed to be a good dad, so I don't know really what the aim is here. Anyways, sorry, I might have repeated a lot from my original Lucifer video, but I did want to come back to it and just complain that I feel like he could have been done better. In Season 3, I'm hoping that they tried to make him more kingly again. Maybe having Lilith around, like she's gonna expect him to have a certain attitude about himself. I don't know, maybe he'll try to lock in to impress her, or they're just gonna keep making him more pathetic and kind of like a Stolas thing where he's just like a sad little boy and he's just such a sad victim to his wife. That seems to be what Vivian loves to do. Hopefully not, though. Anyway, question of the video, what's something that you wish Lucifer did in this season, or what do you hope he does in the next season to kind of prove that he's not just a man-child? Memberships are open if you want to support the channel that way. As of recording this, our only channel member still is Samuel Lawrence, so you could get another shout-out. Thanks so much for, the support. Join our Discord if you'd like, subscribe, hype the video, all the great things. Share if you'd like to, if you have a crowd that you want to share my videos with. God forbid you share my videos. I'm kidding. Anyways, love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.